this is Bob Baseman from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the moving averages, the MACDs, the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels, and the Fibonacci's. It is Wednesday, the 17th of March. Demonstrating Bitcoin against the US dollar. It's a bearish start to the day. Going to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 55,732 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 58,117. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from this morning's high at 57,144 and break back through to 58,000 levels. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 60,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 59,311. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 54,538 into play. Buying an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 53,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 52,153. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, also inconclusive, 50 holding its ground against the 100 and the 200. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 55,732 and break back through to 57,000 levels to then bring resistance levels into play. Better to do that, support levels will be in play. Looking at Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1777 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 1848. We'll need support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 1819.2. Barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ethereum test resistance at 1950 before any pullback. Second major resistance level is at 1890. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1735 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 1650s. Second major support level at 1664 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we got a narrowing of the bullish histograms and we could see a possible bearish cross, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 has pulled back marginally from the 100 and closed in on the 200, also bearish. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 1777 and break out from yesterday's high. It was at 1819.2 to bring resistance levels into play. Better to do that and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 199 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 208. We'll need support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 205.27. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin test resistance at 215 before any pullback. Second major resistance levels is at 214. Fall through the pivot will bring the 23.6% fib at 195 and the first major support level at 194 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Litecoin steer clear of sub 185. Second major support level at 185 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we have a narrowing of the bullish histogram supporting the early pullback. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled back from the 100 and the 200, also a bearish signal. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 199 and break back through to 205 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, slightly bearish this morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through 38.2% fib at 0.4632 and the pivot at 0.4728 to bring the first major resistance level at 0.5182 into play. We'll need support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.5s. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, yesterday's high at 0.53116 and the 62% fib at 0.5320 should cap any upside. Failure to move through the 38.2% fib and the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.4144 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer clear of sub 0.40 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.3690. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bullish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, 50 has moved away marginally from the 200 and the 100, avoiding a bearish cross, so that's providing some support. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the 38.2% fib and the pivot at 0.4728 to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.